Welcome to Binging.
Dragon!
What is going on, mi gente? Welcome back to another episode of Binging Dragons. My name is Rubén, aka CrossRodz, and here with me today is.
I am Mark from House of Nettles. You can find me everywhere.
That's right. And we're going to be talking about the penguin. I meant to have, of course, I always forget about stuff, but I meant to have like a little image to like pop up with the penguin and whatever. So I'll have to do that for episode 2. But yes, we're going to be talking about the penguin today. Pretty much like overall thoughts, favorite moments, favorite character or performances, just in general. We'll try to talk about the Batman a little bit, and I don't know if Mark, if you rewatched it before this season or the Penguin came out. So I don't know how fresh you are with the movie, but it doesn't have to be. It's not going to be any like in depth. We'll leave that for when the Batman 2 comes out, and we can kind of rewatch it.
Yeah, and just for I know you wanted a picture of the penguin, so I quickly drew you one. So don't worry,
Oh, that's perfect, man.
I
You'll
got
you'll
you. I
have to
got you.
you'll have to send me a picture of that, and then I'll put it in here whenever I bring it up. That's awesome. But yeah, man, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I am doing well. You know, it's a good day. It's the week. Unfortunately we do have I do have to go to work tomorrow, so that's always a bad thing. But besides that, been a good weekend. I get to talk with good people all about the superhero stuff. So hey, that's good for me.
I know you mentioned, and that's actually sounds like you've been having a really, really good weekend. And like you said, sadly, we have to go back and work tomorrow. But I know you said for people to follow you, so I want to make sure that I'll highlight it here for you all. But please let everyone know where people can find you.
Yes, I post a lot on TikTok. If you look up House of Nettles, you'll find an image, a little cartoon image of me and my wife. That'll be me with all the content. You can also search House of Nettles on YouTube, on Instagram, on I'm trying to think of all of YouTube, Instagram, and especially
Threads. Yeah,
TikTok.
I've seen you posting stuff on Threads now,
Yes, and I'm trying to
which
post
I've been
more
doing
stuff on
too. Yeah.
Threads. Yes, so please go follow me there. And if you go to my TikTok at House of Nettles, you can go to the link in my bio, and you can have all my social media sites.
Awesome, man. And with that being said, I'll let you guys know as well. Please don't forget to, if you're watching on YouTube, drop a like, a comment about the show so far. Some of you that have been listening to the podcast, you guys have seen Mark before now. You know that he's pretty much a regular here. And yeah, just let us know what you guys think about the podcast, what you think about the Penguin, the show if you're watching, and drop a like and make sure to be subscribed. Also, if you're on Spotify um, or on Apple Podcast, is the other one where you can listen to the podcast. Apple Podcast is only audio though. Spotify gives you video version as well. So just wanted to throw that out there as a reminder. Um, but yeah, man, I'm glad you're doing great. I feel like this is gonna be a pretty cool episode. And let's see with the Batman. Um, were you a fan of the Batman when it came out? Before we get into overall thoughts about the Penguin.
Yes, yes, I was a fan of the Batman. We really got to see Bruce Wayne, aka the Batman, really do go through all his detective route and see how his investigation style will work in a mostly real world setting. Something we have, in my opinion, we haven't really seen in too many of the other Batman iterations.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way as you do. Even though like the thing that I love the most about the Batman, is the fact that it feels number one, you feel so like into that world,
Yeah,
into Gotham. I feel like it might be the best, and this is kind of crazy because I love the Dark Knight trilogy, but I feel like Matt Reeves' Gotham was or is the best at giving you that real vibe of what Gotham could be. You know, that very gritty and dark and always kind of rainy and just dark in general.
Mm.
Gotham City vibe. That was something I loved. And in terms of the Batman as well, I thought Robert Pattinson. Honestly, I think everyone in that movie was a perfect cast. Really, everyone did a really really good job. But yeah, Robert Pattinson's Batman. I thought it was really good. It showed me it even shows you like his fears are very much there still because this is what like a two it's he's been doing this for 2 years
Yeah,
when
I
this
think that's his starting his second year in the beginning of the Batman.
yeah so yeah going back to what you said and being more grounded and the fact that he's kind of learning into like being a detective or like doing detective work and just yeah, grounded. I think that's a pretty good word for it.
Yeah, and
I also liked it.
yeah, and then just quick, I want to say I definitely like your thoughts on how Gotham seemed alive at night, and that's what we all wanted to see. We wanted to see what happened, such an iconic city in the comics, like how it just comes alive, how it's different, how it feels at nighttime.
Right. Yeah. Man, I really really thought that he captured everything
Yeah.
in such a great way. Um so yeah, man. Was there any standout in the Batman that you can think of when you watched it and you were like, man, this was really good? Like from any of the characters and the actors that played it?
Yeah, and I'm horrible with names. And I can see the actor's
Oh, you're
face, but I
fine.
can't think of his name. But the one that played Falcone, the mob boss, the one that
Yes,
gets
yes,
killed.
yes.
I
I'm gonna
thought
look it
he
up.
did terrific as the almost main villain, or the person we thought was pulling all the strings. Who turns out he was the one working with the police to get all his adversaries put in jail. I thought that was good, seeing how his character changed from someone the Batman couldn't trust, but he was a mobster, not one of the bad mobsters. And then we turned out, oh, okay, he's just as bad as anyone else.
Yep, yep, yep. His name, I just looked it up, is John Turturro. Um, he, I remember him from Transformers. Were you ever a fan of like the live, at least the first three?
Yeah, I
Because
think he was in the first three, and and he's been in so many iconic roles. I think he's a really good character actor, and always a really good number two when he's in a film.
yes, yes, I thought he was great as Falcone. And honestly, I was kind of happy that the family gets to we still get to see the Falcone family
Mhm.
now through, as we know, and we'll get to that here soon, but through his kids. Um, so, because I was like asking myself before the Penguin came out. I didn't watch any trailers. I usually love watching trailers and obviously content.
Yeah.
Um, but for some reason for this one, I did not watch any of the trailers. The same way with Agatha. Um, and yeah, man, it was kind of a surprise to see that the kids were going to be part of this story, and of course, like other people as well. Um, so yeah, I think that's a very very good choice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think John did a really good job as Falcone, and more specifically when you find out all of the secrets that he was hiding and I don't know if you remember he turns out to be well, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched the Batman, but um Catwoman's or dad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything was weaved together to go on this detective journey. Some things the Batman figures out. Some things he's like, "Oh, whoa, I didn't see that coming." But it was all good weaving of the story. Like I'm weaving with
Right.
my hands.
It's funny because right now, so I made I think like one video after I finished the Batman the other day, and it was that famous, very popular part where they're talking about the El Rata or yeah El Rata Alada, which is the rat with wings.
Mhm.
And I made a video about that, showing that clip. And right now, if you go in my comment section, the biggest argument right now, which right now the video is one of the most popular I've had in a good while now. But they're arguing is whether or not why would Batman know Spanish or not know Spanish, because El Rata Alada, that's one of Riddler's riddles,
Mm.
and that's when the big which it's one of my favorite moments, I think, in like superhero movies, that big chase scene between Batman and Penguin. You remember
Oh
that
yeah.
part? So they grab him and they're interrogating him and whatever. And yeah, people are just arguing. If you go into that comment section, dude, I think the reason why the video is doing so good is because there's like discussions upon discussions about how, and some of the people are being rude as well, which, at this point, what can I do? There's a whole bunch of comments.
Yeah, you can't.
um,
It's hard. It's hard to go in
but
there once they start
yeah.
flooding it. But yeah, that's actually, I never thought about it. To would or wouldn't he know Spanish? I think that he would know something. He's a rich kid from the big city. He's going to know some other language.
Yeah, that's what some people were saying, like, oh, like he is, this kid was probably, going around the world, visiting
Yeah.
all these places and getting to know all these people. And like his parents probably wanted him to like learn all these languages, blah, blah, blah. So whatever. I just posted it because I thought it was funny, and it gave me, I remember the title was something like, this clip alone, or this moment alone gives me a lot of like hope, or gets me really hyped up for the Penguin when it comes out. um, and it's mainly because of shoot, I can't believe I forgot the name of Colin Farrell
Mm.
uh, playing Penguin in that scene, and whatever. It was just funny. Um, but yeah, man, Batman was pretty good. It's really long. I mean, for some people, it was almost 3 hours long, but I felt like it delivered.
Yeah, it when I watched it in the theaters, it didn't feel long. I feel like that was a terrific movie for a more grounded Batman. Of course, I'm happy they're going to have, I guess, two Batmans in the DCU world, or whatever they're calling it. So we're going to get our grounded Batman, and we're going to get our Batman who can fight Clayface, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, true. So when it comes to, I think we can go ahead and start get things going with the Penguin.
Let me
What were
pull back up my
your
graphics so people know
Oh,
we're talking about the Penguin
bring
now.
it up, man. Bring it up. There you go. um, so what were your thoughts, man? How do you feel about episode 1 of the Penguin?
Yeah, I thought episode one was great. Just in terms of getting the character introduction, almost like a reintroduction, because we got him as a minor character in the Batman, but then now they definitely laid the groundwork for everything. I see our boy. I can't remember what they changed. I know it's not Oswald Cobblepot. I think they changed his name so it wouldn't be so ridiculous.
Cobb.
Oswald Cobb, and just seeing what's going to happen, because now you see the groundwork. We see, and this is all spoilers, correct?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you for reminding me that. Yes, people, spoilers. This is full on spoilers. Thank you for reminding me that, because yeah, I forgot to mention that.
No, that's no problem. Yeah, like I was saying, I just enjoyed how we're able to see the character. Like we know he becomes a big player of the game, and seeing him at this stage and seeing the moves he makes to potentially pit both these powerful families against each other all by himself. In the first episode, kudos. We're seeing what happened, how he's going to do it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. I think that, yeah, this first episode, especially it being so close to the events of um of the Batman. First of all, it kind of gets you asking yourself, how, like, will they at some point um show us whether or not they're kind of fearing the fact that Batman might be out there, or because that's a big thing in the Batman movie. Like he always talks about, even when he's like in the darkness or whatever, like ready to go at it. Like if at any point that would affect this story, and I think that moving down the road, I think that's something I'm kind of gonna be looking forward to. But this first episode, I thought it was really good. I thought it uh, sets everything up in a pretty interesting way, because it not only, like I mentioned at first, I'm glad the Falcone family is still involved through the kids, but we also get the opportunity to see other big time families like the Maronis and or like salespeople, and then who knows who else. Of course, we got Oscob or Penguin, and he also gets this cool kid with him, Victor. Shoot, I forgot his last name. I
It's
think it's like Aguilar or something.
yeah,
Um,
you're right.
is it Aguilar?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, Victor Aguilar, and I thought that was a really really cool addition to it, and I also love the how you can already, which we knew in the Batman already, but it's interesting how just in the first episode you get to see how sneaky Penguin is, and how he is able to just find himself in trouble or get himself into trouble, and just based on the little plans that he left along the road, he gets away or he gets out of trouble. And the way he made it look, uh, the way he makes it look like he did not have anything to do with it, it's really interesting to watch, at least for me. And of course, like I felt like, yeah, in general, everyone did a pretty good job, and it's always incredible to watch how they managed to change Colin Farrell's uh, looks.
Yeah.
You can't tell that's Colin Farrell.
Yeah, and I want to expound upon like you're talking about Victor Aguilar. Hopefully, I said his name correct, last name correctly.
I don't know. You said, yeah.
But I love how they set up that relationship between him and Penguin. Like Penguin got Victor to be the kid to help him move the body, and at first he was contemplating, just killing him, knocking him off, and moving on because you can't leave any witnesses. But decides, hey, I'm gonna give him a chance. But that whole episode, at no point, just to how ruthless we saw Mr. Oswald be, did I think that Victor was going to be safe. Like, would he kill Vic? Would he just take him out the game so he doesn't have any witnesses left? And at the end, when they pull out, they say, "Hey, we got somebody to flip on you that said you had potentially had a body, had Falcone, the son Falcone's body." And I'm like, okay, woo, it's not Victor. For a split second, I thought maybe it could be him.
Yes. Yeah, man. I really, so far, I have liked the addition of. I feel like the addition of Victor and what his character means to the story and to Oscob in general, not just the Penguin. I feel like the reason why Victor is there, it's so weird because in some ways you know that it's like Penguin is manipulating him, or Oz, he's manipulating him through showing compassion, or and showing that he believes in him, and or believe that's the weird thing. I do believe he believes in him and wants him to succeed and have ambitions and stuff, as in like Oz wanting Victor to have all of that. But at the same time, that he is also playing this game to get ahead of the game and ultimately be able to run the city over literally everyone, over the Salvatore or Maroni, and over the Falcones. So
Mr. Penguin.
that's really interesting.
Yeah, I better say, just Mr. Penguin would throw anybody under the bus for his own advancement. So us seeing that relationship with Victor and him being a potential protege is great, but as soon as it becomes advantageous for Penguin to get rid of him or use him as a scapegoat, I'm like, oh, he's going to do it.
Yes,
he's a social climber.
That is interesting because that will add such a like touch of tension moving forward, because I feel like yes, he is like caring for the kid, and I feel like the more episodes pass, I do feel like it won't. He will have more compassion of Victor, but until we don't get to that point, which would probably be what? I don't know how many episodes the Penguin is. Do you know by any chance? Probably
No.
8, because that's what they're freaking doing nowadays. Um,
Yeah.
let's say it's 8. Um, so maybe towards the end, we won't feel that. But here for the next like 5 episodes, I feel like he could literally kill Victor at any point,
Yeah.
honestly. Just because he wants to be able to. If Victor is in the middle, or is someone that he needs to take out just for him to keep moving up, or be able to get away with something, he'll do it, or at least I feel like it. But it's so weird because at the same time you can't tell that he does at least care for him enough to have him under his wing, which is not pun intended, but yeah.
Yeah. And you need people who are willing to do anything for you, and that's the benefit of keeping Big wants to do great, and maybe the Penguin can see potential in him, kind of like how, in maybe it's the same way to her character, Sophia Falcone, the daughter of Falcone from the original The Batman, sees the Penguin, like she knows what he can do. And I mean, sometimes even if he tries to make himself look small in any room, or try to get the other people so they seem like they're more important than him, sometimes that woman intuition knows, like, hey, no, he knows what he's doing. He's smarter than
Yep.
he's letting on. And just because y'all are letting him put on this persona as someone that's weaker than you doesn't mean that's who he truly is.
Yep. And it's interesting you mentioned that, because it reminds me of that part at the very beginning of the show when he kills Alberto, and Alberto tells him like, "Oh, like we all knew, at least like their father and the kids knew how sneaky Penguin was. Like
Yeah.
he was, what was it? He said something about skimming up the top, and enough to where it wouldn't piss off Falcone or anything, or enough to where Penguin would think that Falcone would not notice, but they knew about it. And he talks about how important that was to make him feel, or make Oz feel like, he has this sort of control of certain situations. Um, so yeah, man, I thought it was such a good introduction or pilot episode. Um, I also love the fact, one of the things that I love the most about the Batman is the score. Honestly, I feel like it's one of the best scores ever in like superhero movies. It was made by Michael Giacchino, who is like crazy popular.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they kind of kept some of the, I don't know if they just did it they're gonna do it just for the very beginning of the show or the episode, that tune 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 tune. It's like this very how do you say, like it's sort of like a very bass sound. I don't know how to explain it,
I'm not a music
but
person. I'm like, that sounds right to me.
yeah, but no, if you watch the episode again at some point or whatnot, they put it at the very beginning of the episode. But I just like that they kept that level, which I kind of figured, it being an HBO
Mm.
show, that high level of production, and just looks. The cinematography was just really, really good, honestly. So that was another thing that I really enjoyed about episode 1.
Yeah, that feel from the Batman to this really carried over of like, hey, we are in Gotham, this heavy, weighty city that's just had a disaster happen to it. And something you said early in the episode just about like with the presence of Batman, and I think all these families are moving under the fact that the Batman is going to be super busy. Like he's not going to have the time. He only had seemed like just started dealing with the heavyweights, and then this whole thing happens. the city floods. He's going to have a whole bunch of other stuff he has to do. So now, like we see the Falcone family trying to pull out of certain things until they can readjust. There's probably a lot of the families going to say, okay, what can we do, get away with? What can't we get away with? And this is where you have people like the Penguin seeing an opportunity to kind of sliver on in there.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting as we move forward, honestly. So what would you say were like favorite moments of the episode?
I think some of the conversation, all the conversations between two individuals that they had was great. This was very well written, but a lot of one of the best they had was the Penguin when he spoke with his mother when he went to visit her.
Yes.
Yeah, what was her name? Frances Cobb. It starts off, we can tell that she's sick. Also, that he has two other brothers. I don't know if they're deceased, or maybe we found out more about them later. I'm not sure what they said.
Right.
But just how we see she's dealing with some type of memory issues. She's forgetting things, but she remembers that, hey, my son ain't no loser. Tells that man, I think I have her quote what she said, the city is meant to be your sweetheart. What are you gonna do to get it? Yeah. And that's what I feel like that just encompasses the whole miniseries we're gonna get. What is Mr. Oswald gonna do to take over this city? Because she believes in her boy, and whatever she did in the past, she something tells me she was pushing numbers or something back in the day. She wasn't no scrub.
Yeah, man. It's so at the very end of the episode, I don't know if you watched the trailer. I watched the trailer that they put out for like the
next
what
week.
do they call it? Like, no, it's more like after the first episode on HBO, they usually drop like in the upcoming weeks. So it's like little clips of short clips of like all throughout randomly throughout the season. And there's a moment that it seems like we might get some backstory on the young Penguin, or Oscob. So yeah, man, those moments were between him and his mom were really, really good. That was actually somewhat of a surprise. And now it's kind of also put in the expectation of how many times, we're going to see him going back to her. Will he is it like him reporting to his mom kind of thing? Like every time just to like what purpose does having her around and letting her know his new achievements, to put it that way, will have later on?
Yeah, I think because especially when she's lucid, she helps, well, at least in that episode, help give him the confidence he needed to proceed on. Like, she's his biggest cheerleader. She wants her boy to be great. She knows her boy can be great. But she also serves as one of his greatest weaknesses, because he was trying to get her out of the city when he thought like, hey, if I'm caught, or they can use my mom to get back to me. So I think his biggest strength, his biggest weakness, all in his childhood home.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a really good thing to look forward as the season moves on. You would say that that was like your absolute favorite moments of
that was my favorite moments. Of course, I don't know if I get to steal one more from you.
No, no, you can you can literally say, like, I don't know, we can say 3 moments that we really like.
I'll get one more in there, and it was definitely that ending moment where he's being tortured by what's her name, Falcone. Now I want to say her name correctly. Yeah, Sophia Falcone. When he's being tortured by her and her henchmen because they think he had something to do with her brother's death. Of course he did. Seeing how ruthless she is, like, she went to Arkham Asylum, and nobody comes from Arkham a better person. So I'm like, did you learn new techniques when you were there? Like, I don't know if it really helped you. But, but just seeing how ruthless and what she was willing to do to get this information, to figure out what happened to her brother. And that was cool to see. Like, she was going to take that man's arm off and keep going.
Yeah. And ultimately she kills that kid. just to try it, which she knew that the kid did not have anything to do, or like that Penguin or Oz was lying about it, even though now it doesn't look like he was lying, but she knows. It's like you said earlier, she has that intuition,
Hmm.
um yeah, man, I think that's definitely one of my, I'll be stealing that one because that is one of my favorite moments of the episode. And maybe I can start. Did you say that was your next one? Were you going to say
Yeah, yeah.
another one?
Those are probably my two standout moments from that episode. What do you have? What are some moments that you enjoyed?
So I'm definitely gonna say that one.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed I enjoyed it for the reasons that you mentioned, and to add a little bit more, it's just like the way there's something about someone who is intimidating, but intimidating in a calm way. You knew, like, of course, yeah, she was pissed off, and she was, she was about to lose it and whatnot, and she still like kills off that guy, and he's, like you said, getting ready to, like, she had that guy getting ready to uh cut Penguin's arm off, but all throughout that time she was doing that kind of calm, for the environment, or the moment that everything was happening on. So that to me uh speaks volumes as well of the actor Christy Mallory, I think it's something like that,
Melody?
Milotti. Yeah. Christine. So yeah, man, I thought she, yeah, that moment was really, really good. um I'll have to add as well into that. um I thought that the moments between Penguin and Victor were really, really good because, again, it adds more tension, it adds more like even kind of thrillerish uh kind of aspect to it, because we don't know at one point, like at whatever point in the story, and specifically more in these earlier episodes, Penguin can just lose it and literally just get rid of Victor.
Hmm.
And we've already noticed that he can be very impulsive, because that moment when he kills off Alberto and he's looking at him, it kind of gives me chills, man, because that was such a good scene. He kills him off, he shoots him, and it was all rooted from like it kind of seemed like it was just bottled up rage that he had from like years of people like looking down on him and whatever. But once he does that little like, fuck, like, I should have not done that. um and I can see him being like that, like kind of impulsive with certain actions throughout the show. Um,
Yeah,
so I gotta say, any of the moments that he had with Victor were some of my favorite moments, because yeah, and the guy that plays Victor, I haven't looked it up, but he actually, let me try and look it up just so we can be
Ren, I think
uh
Renze Feliz.
Renzi, yeah, Renzi Feliz, yeah.
Mm.
I thought he did really good, and that whole, I bought it. I bought his performance, honestly. Um, so yeah, moments between him and Victor were one of my favorites. I can like pinpoint because they all felt kind of like the same.
Yeah,
Um,
I like how we got to
uh,
be introduced into that world through Vic's eyes of him. You know, he doesn't know anything. He's bumbling around. He's kind of learning from the Penguin, so we get to see from the base level to become a gangster
mhm.
from his point of view.
What's crazy is that there's something that tells me that if he would have not been there that day trying to steal uh, Penguin's tires or whatever it was, um, who knows if he would have even ended up in the streets. Like, Penguin is making sure that he gets like more and more in depth, pretty much,
Yeah, yeah,
um, by bringing him along and knowing that he needs to start somewhere with his dream, because ultimately, at least I feel like Penguin Oz, he has that dream of the to be able to be like the gangster guy that he talked about. I think he mentioned his name or not, but that gangster that used to live whenever around the house whenever he was like 14 years old, and that he would remember the people, like people's names and like situations if someone was short on rent or someone had a big medical bill. He would like take care of them, but everyone knew he was, he was doing bad things, but he was taking care of his community,
Yes.
all like to the point where they threw a parade for him. um so ultimately, I like the fact that Penguin is striving for that, and that is also one of the reasons why he ends up taking down Alberto in such a like explosive way. Like, who knows? Maybe that kind of touched a nerve whenever he's calling him like a little bitch or something.
Yeah,
Um,
it's only so much you can take of somebody just disrespecting you, and it's like doing it in your in front of your face, and especially coming from him. Like Alberto wasn't anything. Like you're only in this position because your father died, not because you earned it, not because you've been really good at what you do. No, you were,
yep.
and I'm happy he turned his life around because I know addiction is hard to deal with. It's one of the most difficult things you
Hmm.
can deal with. But he hasn't done anything to that point, and to think you're on that level, no, no, guy.
Yep. Yeah, at that point, I think it was probably just obviously Carmine, but then it seems like it was Sophia, the next one, at least in terms of doing crazy things and being able to or willing to kill off people, which we don't know yet. At least I don't know what she exactly did.
I mean,
So
she
it'll
got the
be
nickname
interesting.
the Hangman, so I don't think it was anything good.
Oh, definitely. um, but yeah, those were really good. Some of my favorite moments, and of course, just to throw a third one there, and you mentioned it, um, adding the mom and adding the mom scenes was really good to kind of get into what Oz is thinking and how he might feel about certain things. Um, so yeah, it's I thought you said it great, so I won't like add more into it because you pretty much said everything I wanted. It
Oh,
was
thank you.
just really, yeah, no, there was really good moments between him and his mom, and I think even Victor at some point he stops there. um but yeah, favorite performances, what would you say?
Oh wow! I think the easy part would be to just to say Colin Farrell as the Penguin, as Oswald, as Cobbleman, Mr. Cobbleman. Uh,
Yeah.
him having to put on that makeup every time to go into work. I can only imagine how long it takes. I know they probably said it on some behind the scene episode. Hopefully, it got a little faster from the movie to this, since he probably had to do it a lot more. But I truly believed he was that character, from his persona, from how he acted within different social settings, to the walk he did going places, that little waddle. And I'm like, man, I look like a penguin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully he's able to embrace that nickname, because I know he didn't like it in the Batman, if I recall correctly. And so
Yeah.
hopefully at some point he can flip it to people call him the Penguin, because he's so powerful and they got to respect him. And, oh, no, sorry, Mr. Penguin, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder where this will ultimately lead. If it's gonna be like they'll kill him off, or just like uh arrest them, or something. Honestly, I'm kind of curious to see where they're heading to um in the bigger picture, with this um Batman universe thing. Because as we know, we got the Batman 2 coming out. I think they're starting to film next year. And then we are still getting, Matt Reeves said we're still getting that Arkham series.
Hmm.
So we'll see where now. Colin Farrell said he doesn't want to do a season 2 because of the how crazy it was to get in and out of that suit, and
Yeah.
how it would take hours, and by the end he just felt miserable. um so yeah, yeah, I think
I
it's somewhat of an easy one.
I can only
Honorable
imagine
mentions,
how.
maybe.
Yeah, I was about to say I can only imagine how that walk would affect just your leg and your hip to try to nail it
Yes,
every time. He probably started walking like that. He can help him walk like
yeah.
that at a certain point.
Which is interesting because at one point in the episode, they even show us his foot, and it's all
Mhm.
messed up. And I wonder how that happened. I wonder how his scar on his face happened as well, because he has a big ass scar. And
Yeah.
then when Sophia is there torturing him, she has like something that it seems like she puts on, or he puts on his foot.
Oh
You
yeah,
notice
yeah.
that?
It look like a
Like a
corrective.
bracelet, or I don't know what it is. Well, a
Yeah, a little
bracelet is.
corrective boot to stabilize his foot. So yeah, he probably really needs that. He probably.
Yes. Yeah. Um, but do you have like an honorable mention after
Oh
Penguin?
yeah, I have a couple of honorable mentions just from this episode. Definitely Sophia Falcone, her
Hmm.
actress, how she went from kind of meek, but you knew she knew something, put something in the back of her head to becoming a full-on almost boss of the family. And quickly, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Falcone family, who they put in charge, because I know she's capable, but they were already willing to skip over her for her brother, who probably didn't have the sauce to actually be the leader in the first place.
Oh,
And
are you is this you putting in a House of the Dragon kind of thing? Is this Aegon, was that Aegon's coronation right there?
it almost was. But yeah, I think it's gonna be some infighting with the Falcone family, and but in just another performance I thought was well. I'm like looking at the list. I
Yeah,
I'm I'm just also gonna say Vic, the guy actor that
yeah,
played Victor,
yeah. Those are
looking
good.
soft and doughy eyed, like geez Willikers. He's like looking like a poor man's Spider, well a gangster version of Spider Man. Like Spider Man was learning from Iron Man. This guy Victor is learning from the Penguin.
Yeah, yeah. I think those are great choices. I would also definitely go, yeah, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, most definitely the highlight of the episode.
Mm.
It's gonna be hard not to think about it going throughout, or as we move on with the season. Just because of the problem that it was, and how incredible what an incredible job they did uh, with the way he looks and all of that. So yeah, after that, I definitely have to add Sophia. She got better and better as the episode went on. Um, Definitely that moment where she is torturing him and whatnot. I think that was like the nail in the coffin for me to be like, this was really good, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
would
be
have been scared.
expecting, yeah, and I'm gonna be expecting some very good backstory episodes with her, probably an Arkham or Arkham. I would love to see that. And after that, yeah, Victor was great, and
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like the mom definitely deserves somewhat of her flowers as well, which her name is, what was it again? Oh man,
uh-huh.
Deirdre
Yeah,
O'Connell, Miss
dear.
O'Connell.
Yes, Miss O'Connell, Mr. Mrs. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, exactly. um but yeah, they were all really really good. um but yeah, I think, if I don't know if I'm missing anything right now when it comes to the episode. I
Yeah.
have a list here, um but pretty much everything that we talked about is here on my notes. Um, so yeah, man, I feel like this might be the very end of the episode.
Yeah, I will say this. I thought it wasn't funny, but the scene where Falcone's fighting that dude who were following him in the car, and he pushes the guy and he gets hit by the bus. All I could think of was that
Oh my god, yes.
all I could think of was that the Simpsons meme where it says don't roll them past the kindergartners, and it shows the dead body. They all go ee.
Yes, yes. Oh, that's funny. It, he's one lucky dude. I'll tell you that.
Hey,
Penguin is. It's also funny because they also it's okay. It's funny how they did something on purpose, knowing that we would react like and I'm gonna talk about when he gets in the trunk of the car, um, thinking that he's like, oh, I got away. Like they just, it was
Yeah.
just three goons and they went in there, and now I'm gonna get in the car and leave. Um, it was cool that they made it that way. That obviously, dude, there's more than three people, that are gonna be looking for you. How do you think you're gonna get away with this that easy?
I thought he was
um,
gonna get away. I'm like, all right, good plan. All right, let's get out of here. Dust ourselves
yeah,
off.
I mean, yes, it did, but I don't know. Not until the only way I was going to buy it, honestly, it's like if he turned around and just you saw him starting to leave, but they didn't even let him. That dude
No.
just came in there and just punched him in the face, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, because why wouldn't there be somebody by the car? Like, duh.
Exactly, and I think there was like maybe like three or four cars that went after him. Um, and there was quite a few dudes with her when they were in front of that place over there.
Mhm.
Um, so that was that was a funny moment. It's gonna be, yeah. I think this show is gonna be good. I think it's gonna expand really really good in terms of this universe, that the Matt Reeves universe, Batman universe. Um, it's gonna be interesting how this would, if Marvel will take somewhat of a page, which it seems like they kind of are doing this, not entirely, because they have now that Marvel Spotlight, is it, or whatever, where you can watch like Echo, um, where the project, whether it's a movie or a show or whatever, it's not really connected. Like you don't have to watch other things in order to know what's
To just
happening
enjoy
in the.
this, what's going on the screen. I feel like that's always a better way to do your television shows. You don't want to do too much heavy lifting if you just want an audience to come in, if they enjoy the premise of what's going on, to just come in and watch it and just see what happens.
This show, it seems like this show is kind of 50-50 on that, because
Yeah.
I feel like you do need to watch the Batman, um in order to, at least once. I'm not saying like rewatch it right before. So like if you watch the Batman whenever it came out,
Mm.
it gives you a pretty good idea. Okay, this is, let's see where we're at, and who's this character, or who are these characters, or the people that are, related to these, you know drug lords and stuff, like Falcone and whatnot. um but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think that concludes pretty much our Penguin episode 1. This was great,
Yes.
man. Just 47 minutes. Well, going on 48. But I'm glad you liked it, because that means we'll get to do this. I think we were talking about what? Maybe doing it on Tuesdays, the
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, doing it
Yeah,
on
that works.
recording Tuesday evenings. Yeah, that's going to be great. I'll be happy to be here with you to
Yeah.
record and talk more about the Penguin.
Yeah, I think that works. I'm gonna think if whether or not it'll be good to do it live. Because I had told, my last live, I was planning on doing like a Tuesday through Thursday streams, or like,
Mhm.
go live, or like game streams or whatever. I don't know. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So maybe if we record on Tuesday, maybe we can do, that can be part of one of the lives that I
Yeah.
do. Um and yeah, that way it'll be already out on the YouTube. um are you watching anything else besides, I know you're watching From, dude? I really wanted to cover that. I've been wanting to watch that show, like I was telling you, but
Yeah. First episode just dropped. If anybody wants to head over to my social medias, there's a show called From. It's on season 3. I do what is it? I do an episode review on Sunday, and then I'm going to do a live Monday evenings, just talking about the episode and of course, talking about other things, House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and all that. But going to really focus on talking about From on Monday evenings. House of Nettles, guys. House of Nettles.
that's right, and I put it up here, you guys, just
Yes.
in case. You just search House of Nettles and you will find Mark. That's great, dude. I think that's really really cool. Besides that, are you watching Rings of Power and stuff or?
No, I'm not watching it. Um, I've never been the biggest
Is
Lord of the
this,
Rings guy.
I was gonna say, are we getting ready? Is this your moment of just dropping man just a whole lot of hate on the Lord of the Rings?
No. Hey, I think Lord of the Rings is great. It's a great fantasy series.
But
It's
fuck
just not my
Frodo.
fantasy series. He's not my Frodo.
Oh, that's funny. Did you ever read the books or no?
No, I never read the books.
Okay.
When I saw the movies in the movie theaters, they were long as hell. But that's besides the point. Besides the point.
Yeah.
What wasn't my thing? But there's so many different fantasy series, superheroes, supernatural genres. It can be overwhelming sometimes, but
Yeah.
hopefully at House of Nettles and at Binging Dragons, you can come there
That's
and
right.
find your little niche of things you enjoy. And you can enjoy them there.
That's right. So you can expect us to be covering the Batman or the Penguin. If there's anyone else that will join us at some point as a guest, that'll be cool. So if people out there, if you're interested, just shoot us a message and DM us, and yeah, well, we can get you in here as well. But man, I had a really really good time, guys. Don't forget to again like, follow, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, follow the page on Instagram, TikTok, follow me, CrossRodz, or Rubén Stargarian over here. And of course, follow my boy over here, Mark, House of Nettles. Again, thank you all for watching, and we will talk to you on the next one. Getting ready for episode 2, which, by the way, oh, I forgot. Sorry. The next episode won't be like this next Tuesday because there's no new episode tonight. The premiere was Thursday, and I don't think they're dropping an episode tonight. So the next episode is next Sunday.
Next Sunday, not at nighttime. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. They for some reason I think it's because uh the industry is going on, which is that one with where Kit Harrington started coming up on season 3. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a succession-esque kind of style. Um so yes, I think they're getting close to finishing that season, and then um we should be getting the Penguin on Sundays, and then we can do the episodes on Tuesday. That was it, people. Thank you all for stopping by. Remember, like, share with others, play 1,000 times if you can. Review on Spotify, leave comments on Spotify. You can do that as well, and Apple Podcasts as well. On Apple Podcasts you can only review, I think it is. Anyways, I'll see you all around. Thank you all for stopping by for this one.
All right. Have a good one.